the Fellow ODE grinder. It's great for alternative brew, but is it for you? Hang about and I'll tell you all you need to know. G'day, I'm Luke and welcome back to the Artista YouTube channel where we guide you through all things coffee. So you don't miss out on one of our latest videos, make sure you subscribe, like and hit that bell icon so you get notified when we put up our latest video. And if you've got a question about today's video, please leave us a comment below, we do love to answer them. Today we are doing a review on the Fellow ODE grinder. Now it's been long awaited. Fellow has an amazing range of products and they call it the missing link up in their lineup of products. So Fellow is a company that has a whole range of beautiful products for the coffee industry, and they range from boiling water all the way through to brewing. So in terms of water, they have the Stag temperature controlled kettle. In terms of brewing, they have the Clara brewer. In terms of attachments, they have the Fellow Prismo, which goes onto your AeroPress. And then in terms of cups, they have a range of thermoses called the Carters. Now that's a great whole range, but there is one thing missing. How do you grind coffee? And that's where the lovely ODE fits in perfectly to their whole lineup. So the product's been out for a little bit. We just haven't had a chance to get around and do this review. So straight into the specs of the unit. You can see it's beautifully made, and that's just what Fellow do. It only comes in black. You can't get this in white yet to match the Stag kettles. You've got a set of 64mm vertical blades in this grinder, so that really does help with retention loss. You've got a big variable dial on here with 31 individual different settings from coarse to fine. There is a smart PID controlled motor in here, so I'll show you that in a second, but that essentially will stop after you've finished your grinding. So when it comes to the grind catch pot, it is magnetically located, which is a really nice touch. It gets it beautifully aligned so all the grinds do go in the top. In the actual pot, removable top there, and there's beautiful fins here which actually allow the coffee to pour out nicely. And inside there's about 4 different bean levels there, so you can do a rough measure on how much coffee beans you're going to have in there before you pop it in the top. And one of the little touches that Fellow's done is inside this lid there is a grind dial here, and that's outlining your finest to your coarsest and labeling things like cold brew and Prismo and pour overs, so you know exactly where to go to. So that's a really good guide if you don't know what kind of grind you need. So I did a couple of little tests for you earlier, and what we have here is 2 different types of grind that the Fellow has done. I went from the finest, which is this one over here, and then I went to the coarsest. Now if we look at that actual grind consistency, when it is coarse, it's a little bit inconsistent. As it went finer, I do find it is a better consistency across the board. Now the Fellow ODE, to be clear, is not designed to be used as an espresso grinder. It wasn't designed that way. I wouldn't even think about it. It is purely about alternative brewing, and that's what this little chart is all about. Now what I did find is we did a couple of these 60s, and for us that fine grind setting here for the pour over, it is not fine enough. So basically you need to go a little bit finer than what the chart says if you've got a recipe that you want to achieve. But if you're new to it, hey, that's a good place to start. Then have a bit of a play and dial in your best recipe. So the Fellow ODE does sit pretty uniquely in its own space in the market. It's a small home designed grinder for alternative brewing. I don't believe there's any good quality brands out there that have a product that compete against this. So for your money, it's got great value. Does it work in the commercial environment? I don't think so. There are some grinders which will give you a bigger blade and a better quality, but they are far more expensive. So this is definitely for a small volume use person at home. So in Australia, the Fellow ODE is going to cost you just under $600, which I think is pretty fair given the value that they package here in terms of quality, the digital stop, and a lot of other tech there that just gives you an amazing grind to enjoy every day at home. So that's all I've got on the Fellow ODE. Hey, if you've got one, we'd love to hear your feedback. If you haven't got one, grab one and then let us know. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Hope you got something out of the video. Have an awesome day.